Welcome to Storytime. Get ready, navigate for quick wisdom of countless stories. Let's dive into the world of knowledge together and explore. Story: The Wild Ginger, written by Anchee. Summary of the story Wild Ginger. The story, titled Wild Ginger by Anchee, recounts the story of a little Chinese girl named Wild Ginger who grows up during a trying period. Despite her challenges, she keeps her hope in her ambition to be a movie star. She goes to Shanghai after leaving her town, where she faces difficulties but also makes friends and falls in love. In a world that is changing, Wild Ginger follows her goals and meets life's challenges head-on with resolve. When Wild Ginger travels to Shanghai, she comes upon the glittery film industry and gets taken in by its appealing qualities. She quickly learns, though, of the awful reality hiding behind the beautiful appearance. She encounters misconduct and extortion from those in positions of power, which puts her determination and self-belief to the test. Wild Ginger perseveres in the face of challenges, not giving up on her goals or her identity. Her story shows the courage and determination of people who, in the face of difficulty, and strive for achievement. The tale of Wild Ginger connects with the country's transformation amid a period of social change and political conflict in China. She observes the uncertain changes in the balance of power and views that impact her experiences and goals. Anchee skillfully connects themes of strength, determination, and pursuing goals one desires throughout the story. A universal story of confidence and desire, Wild Ginger's will to overcome challenges in society and follow her passion of performing is appealing. The complexity of life, love, and pursuing goals in the face of a changing world are all beautifully conveyed in this book. Chapter 1: Roots in the Village. Wild Ginger grew up in the remote Yangshuo village, which is concealed away in China's lush country. There, she was surrounded by smells of jasmine and the sounds of long-gone customs. Her early years were filled with the sound of her cousins laughing and her parents' comforting presence while they worked in the fields. However, in the thick of the rural simplicity, Wild Ginger felt something burn inside her and a burning need for something outside the small village, beyond the horizon where the sun set each evening. When a traveling acting group arrived in Yangshuo, Wild Ginger was taken in at an early age by the flickering pictures displayed on an improvised screen. Like ink on parchment, the bold colors, the emotions shown on the artists' faces, and the fascinating tales spoken in the failing light went into her spirit. Her ideas were sown here, among the improvised stage and captivated audience. Dreams that whispered of a life in the limelight and flew like paper cranes in the wind. Her family was unable to understand her wild dreams since they were rooted in tradition and the reality of country living. Still, their devotion to Wild Ginger was as firm as the old roots of the village's shifted trees. Aged from years of cultivating the land, her father laughed a lot at her dreams. Yet there was a sparkle of pride in his eyes for her bold will. Whenever Wild Ginger's spirit hesitated, her mother, whose skin-covered fingers twisted tales as delicate as the silk threads she spun, would whisper encouraging words. Chapter 2: Dreams Take Flight. In Yangshuo, fate danced to its joyful sound in the golden haze of a late summer afternoon. The air boiled with expectation at the village's the brink, and Wild Ginger, now a growing young girl with eyes filled with dreams of 1,000 stars, found herself attracted there. A group of actors had arrived in the peaceful village, bringing a wealth of falsehood and stories with them. Attracted by an attractive interest, Wild Ginger followed after the colorful parade as it made its way over the slender dirt procedures, their colorful uniforms like kaleidoscopes. She followed the delicate melody of old songs and the rhythmic crushing of boxes until she was in the heart of the unexpected concert. There, in the last light of the setting sun, Wild Ginger saw something that would change her life forever. The actors reflected their stories onto a plain painting that was strongly stretched between wooden supports while they played out stories of heroes and female characters, love and courage. Their faces were painted in bright colors. A spell was cast on the rapt crowd by the glowing sights, which also strongly affected something deep inside Wild Ginger's spirit. A strong desire to be a part of that beautiful world and to live out the stories that gave life to her imagination was sown in that fleeting instant, amid the dancing lights and shadows. With an injection of purpose, Wild Ginger made her way home as the sunset became darker and the stars came out. The stars confessed to the dreams that now rose within her, and the night sky shone with possibilities. The village was deep in darkness as everyone slept, not knowing the change that was taking place inside the adventurous girl whose dreams were no longer restricted by Yangshuo, China. Wild Ginger fell into a restless sleep as the perfume of jasmine filled the air. Her dreams were filled with images of a future filled with the glowing lights of a far-off city, the city of Shanghai, where dreams came true and her destiny lay ahead of her with the moving videos of cinema. Chapter 3: Journey to Shanghai. Rose and gold hues painted the skies as dawn broke over the peaceful village. With her heart racing in time for an oncoming adventure, Wild Ginger woke up. Her dreams of Shanghai, which had once spoken to her in the darkness, were now calling her out with a seductive charm. Wild Ginger said goodbye to Yangshuo, her determination apparent on her face and a bundle of hopes nestling under her arm. Her father put an old but valued family tradition into her hands, a simple jade pendant that serves as a symbol for courage and good fortune, with old hands holding a symbol of his ongoing support. She jumped into a snake's shell and left her village's beautiful calm behind, going out into the unknown. She left the protective covering of her past at each milestone along the way to Shanghai, which unfolded like a living weaving. The verdant fields gave way to busy settlements, and the peasants' discussions mixed into the background noise of a growing city. With each passing mile, the city's size increased, and its skyline was a jumble of tall structures reaching up to the sky. Shanghai greeted Wild Ginger with a riot of sounds: the shouting of street sellers, the joy of children, the music of life weaving its complex patterns. Shanghai is a changing rainbow of goals and ambitions. Wild Ginger was a small figure encircled by the magnificence of Shanghai streets in the middle of the chaos. The city was stressful and exciting at the same time since it was full of life and opportunity. Her gaze lingered on the sights, the neon lights along the streets, the busy markets filled with strange goods, and the eerie beauty of movies offering an overview into the world of film. Even though she became overcome at first, she had a strong sense of determination in her body. Wild Ginger went onto the threshold of a new chapter, eager to carve her fate amid Shanghai's bright streets, the echoes of her family's love still spreading in her heart and the pendant's comforting weight against her chest. Chapter 4: The Glamour and the Grit. In the center of Shanghai, Wild Ginger discovered herself in a world that was both glittering and gritty. She felt drawn to the city like a siren's song by the sparkling lights and promises of fame that covered the film industry. Her path brought her to the busy studios where celluloid was created from dreams. The atmosphere was charged with eagerness and aspiration, with every breath carrying the weight of potential success on the big screen. But under the shiny surface was the harsh reality of a competitive business, where the search for success came at an elevated price in terms of effort and sacrifice. The imaginative thinking that went into creating elaborate sets that took viewers to far-off places, the lavish costumes that turned performers into characters, and the directors who represented all kinds of emotions on screen caught Wild Ginger's imagination. But even in the midst of the beauty, she came across the harsh realities that remained in the background. The exploitation of innocent outsiders, the breaks that the powerful sought, and the intense rivalry that promised their hopes. The grit and determination that had been instilled in her amidst the peaceful fields of Yangshuo became her direction in this labyrinth of dreams. Wild Ginger was still steadfast, her resolve firm among the bright lights and the gritty reality, as she worked to carve her place in the lost world of Shanghai. Countless the difficulties she faced, she continued in following her passion and controlling the dark waters of a business that requested much more than talent. Chapter 5: Trials and Tribulations. In the heart of Shanghai's film industry, Wild Ginger had to make her way through a series of hardships that put her entire existence to the test. She faced several challenges along the way to popularity, but her determination to succeed kept her strong like a watchtower in the storm. She had to face the difficult casting call circuit, where every call was a mixture of pain and hope, the stack of rejected letters like leaves on the ground, each one a sign of the severity of the business. But in spite of all of the difficulties she faced, Wild Ginger discovered a strength of character that kept her from giving in to disputed thoughts. The darker elements of the film industry appeared as Wild Ginger struggled with control and corruption. She came across dishonest brokers and greedy influencers who wanted to change her into someone she wasn't. Their demands promised to put out the light that made her special, eating away at her true self. In the busy city, loneliness became her silent companion. She had to manage a variety of relationships that shifted between true friendship and concealed motives while carrying a heavy burden of ambition. Some of the friendships that were formed were brief, like shooting stars, while others formed walls of support among the uncertainty. Wild Ginger held firmly to her dreams through it all. With each setback, her resolve, an unshakable flame in the darkness, grew brighter. Her determination was reinforced by the difficulties she faced, making her able to stand up to the challenges that could weaken her determination. The story of recovery was woven via the intertwining threads of her journey, which included both determination and disappointment. Every hardship she faced served as proof of her never-stopping pursuit of a dream that stayed just out of reach, a dream that motivated her to keep going through the ups and downs of Shanghai's stormy film business, much like the far-off stars in the night sky. Chapter 6: Bonds and Betrayals. Among the wealth and underpinnings of desire in Shanghai's film company, Wild Ginger built connections that resonated with dishonesty as much as sincerity. She made friends with other dreamers who traveled the same difficult path as her, comparable souls. Like delicate flowers in a cement jungle, friendships grew out of shared difficulties and ambitions. They became her rock-solid supporters, offering comfort during dark times and celebrating even the little wins in a world where victory seemed impossible. But beyond the polished exterior of relationships, there were dark sides to the story, angering rivalries and covert plans that might break the bonds of trust. Betrayals took many unexpected shapes and at times went undiscovered behind false smiles and promises that were causing wounds that went beyond the surface sparkle of the business. Wild Ginger learned the harsh lesson that not everyone wears masks of honesty. Some hid their real motives under buildings of hospitality, hoping to take advantage of weaknesses and control dreams. During her journey, the weakness of trust surfaced as a painful truth as friendships fell apart and commitments crumbled. Wild Ginger moved warily, differentiating those whose allegiances were short from those who were actual friends amid the dancing lights and whispers of ambition. Even though it hurt, the treachery she encountered taught her important lessons and served as a reminder to go carefully and with hope when crossing the confusing web of relationships. But among the network of ties and treachery, there were others that stood out like lights in the darkness. Sincere friendships that were made in an atmosphere of common goals and difficulties overcome. Their continuous support turned into a haven in the stormy world of greed and dishonesty. Through relationships put to the test by hardship and the pain of betrayals that damaged her spirit, Wild Ginger learned valuable knowledge that, behind the dazzling thoughts of the industry, real relationships were the rare diamonds that shone through the darkness of rejection to show the way forward. Chapter 7: Resilience Amid Turmoil. The film business in Shanghai was a lively tapestry, but so were the winds of change blowing across China as a whole. The city buzzed with an earthquake of changing social mores as much as the passion of movie desires. The country was shaken by elections, which complicated Wild Ginger's desire for celebrity. Her personal path unfolded against the backdrop of shifting philosophies and power battles, which severely influenced her goals. The sounds of dissatisfaction resonated through the streets as the whispers of societal change became more and more apparent. Wild Ginger saw first the struggle that exists between the two, between the forces of change and the spirits of the past, as a country in change. A ray of hope came from Wild Ginger's determination in the face of social discontent. She refused to let the chaos of external factors put out the spark of her dreams as she firmly reached the complexity of a changing world. She felt the reverberations of her early years, steeped in Yangshuo customs, which served as a constant reminder of the everlasting fortitude that was instilled in her being. Despite all of the instability, Wild Ginger's determination did not waver. Her ongoing drive, a strong force that withstood social confusion, provided her with comfort. Her path mirrored the determination of a country experiencing change, her goals linked with the greater story of a China in change. Wild Ginger maintained steady as society changed, serving as an example of how the human spirit can endure, adjust, and go on in the face of stormy change. Her firm pursuit of her goals converted her into an unshakable and hopeful icon, showing the strength of the human spirit in the face of a changing environment. Chapter 8. Love Amidst Chaos. Wild Ginger got caught up in the delicate sections of love that developed amid the chaos, amidst the strong currents of Shanghai's packed streets and the excitement of her search for glory. She met someone whose presence was like a clam haven in the middle of a storm, between film shoots and auditions. Their exchanges felt like precious moments among the hectic city, with every look acting as an invisible conversation that said a lot. Their story of love was written in the confused music of uncertainty and ambition, and it developed like a moving tune. He was similar to her, someone whose goals agreed with her own, and in his eye Wild Ginger discovered a haven, away from the noise of the business. Tucked between shared dreams and stolen looks, their love grew gently like a delicate flower in the stone jungle. They found safety in one another's embrace from the continuous demands of their own aspirations, their love a shield from the continual storm blowing all around them. However, there were difficulties in the city of dreams when it came to love. The sacrifices and compromises that their goals required of them were carried by their intertwined paths. Their relationship was marred by uncertainty and doubt as a result of the ups and downs of their industry, which could have tore them apart. Their romance walked a fine line between ambitions and reality, passion and realism. Their love served as a balancing force among the rotating chaos as they managed the intricacies of their separate efforts, serving as a reminder of the human connection that exists beyond the glamour and soil of Shanghai's film industry. Wild Ginger found a love that was solid, enduring, and unshakable in the face of hardship, in the very heart of the bustling city between the sparkling lights and the continuous follow of dreams. Their love remained an expression to the beauty found within life's irregular rhythms, a soft melody in the song of disorder. Chapter 9. Striking a Balance. Wild Ginger battled the difficult task of finding a careful balance in the maze-like world of ambition and personal goals. She had experienced the staggering heights of achievement and the deep depths of question as a result of following her goals. And now she found herself at a crossroads, trying to find balance in the middle of chaos. The continuous desire for fame demanded constant devotion, while the pressure of private ambitions combined with the expectations woven by society guidelines. She began to walk through life with care, balancing ambition and sincerity in a delicate dance that became her daily battle. Amid the disorder of screening calls and meetings, Wild Ginger came to a crossroads where her real self and the pull of celebrity clashed. She did, however, sometimes experience moments of understanding among this internal conflict and wisdom nuggets drawn from the events that formed her path. She could feel the sound of her Yangshuo roots, the unshakable tenacity and morals that her parents fostered in her. Wild Ginger set out to redefine success according to her own standards, a journey that matched her sincerity with her goals. She was looking for a balance that reflected the fortitude and integrity rooted in her soul, one that respected her goals while keeping true to her own identity. Her dream chasing was no longer an isolated activity, but rather a well-balanced combination of aspiration and reflection. Chapter 10. Pursuing the Dream. The last act, the final act of determination, ardor, and the pursuit of a dream that had sprung in her amid the peaceful fields of Yangshuo, played out in the crescendo of Shanghai's busy streets and the climax of Wild Ginger's journey. Wild Ginger felt the weight of her journey, the challenges, the treachery, the times of love and companionship etched into the very fabric of her being with each step she took forward. With the determination that had helped her cross the ups and downs of the film company, the goals that had previously been impossible were now within her reach. The sound of her roots stayed alive within her as the last moments of her story came near, serving as a constant reminder of the courage and qualities that her modest background had placed upon her. She reached every one of her goals because of her unshakable durability, which was polished by her encounters and made difficult by the disorder. Standing on the brink of her desires, Wild Ginger was surrounded by the bright lights of Shanghai. The city, which had before been a confusing web of unknowns, now stretched before her like a blank canvas ready for her signature. It was confirmation of her continuous hunger for fame, her passion, and the courage that had seen her through it all. She approached the spotlight with the jade pendant, a treasured memory from her father nestled against her heart, setting the scene for the journey's emotional conclusion. Her life story played out in a climax of feelings, each stage demonstrating the strength she had found within. Wild Ginger reached out and held the stars that used to seem impossible in that brief moment amid the conversations of the city and the beat of her pulse. Shanghai's brilliant sparkle served as a final destination for the dreams that had begun in Yangshuo Village, a memorial to the unwavering spirit of a girl who refused to give up in the face of disorder, glitter, and continuous persistence. Key learnings: Wild Ginger shows a journey of determination, resolve, and pursuing desires against a backdrop of social change and the glitter of the movie business. Basically, the story conveys multiple important lessons. First of all, it shows how strong individuals can be faced with hardship. Trials, treachery, and social pressures all occur on Wild Ginger's path, but her steadfast resolve acts as a compass through the stormy environment of hopes and doubts. This determination turns into a lighthouse, reflecting the ability of the human spirit to stay strong and develop in the face of affliction. Second, Wild Ginger finds it difficult to strike a balance between being real and meeting the demands of the business. Through her experiences, the novel stresses the value of self-discovery and accomplishing objectives that reflect an individual's values and identity. It improves the idea that success is really about finding a good balance between individual goals and individuality, rather than just getting popular. In the end, Wild Ginger offers lessons on resilience, reliability, and the difficult process of navigating goals in a changing world, reflecting the universal themes of determination, self-discovery, and following dreams. Thanks for tuning in. For more enlightening content and a detailed summary, visit www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Let's inspire and empower each other. Subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and family.